Today I am diving deep into this, my 11 must-have tools for woodworking. All of these tools only costing $137, the most bang for your buck I could find. And at the end of this video, I'll be building a project from start to finish using only the contents of this box to show off what these babies can do. Because you don't need all of this to call yourself a woodworker. Whether you're brand new to woodworking or you're just looking for a few inexpensive toys to purchase, this video is for you. All of these tools are readily available on Amazon. Because my last "This Project Pays for All the Tools" video, I learned that Menards aren't everywhere. But when I needed allergy medicine and I was in Alaska, Ace Hardware was the place to go. Weird. First item on the list is a simple jigsaw. This $20.40 beauty features a speed dial, 45-degree bevel cut, 4-stage orbital, a couple of blades, and a dust port. I'm not sure how we're getting a vacuum in here. Honestly, after using it a couple times, I'm probably going to reach for this one before I reach for that one. And it's mainly because it has a speed and orbital control. Speed control being how fast your blade is going to move up and down. Orbital control, at 0, it's going to just move basically up and down straight. On 1, it's going to try to dig out a little bit of material on the backside as it goes. So it's going to move this pilot as your blade is moving. 2 and 3, it just gets more aggressive at it, and it just leads to more tear out. I always leave them on setting 0, so it's not really helpful for an orbital setting. But the speed setting, if this thing is on speed 0, it really doesn't even move. I thought it was broken, but then I turned up the speed and it was good. A jigsaw is generally recommended as a first power saw over a circular saw because they are easier to control and considered safer. They also excel at curves and intricate shapes, making them versatile for various projects. However, they're not ideal for making long, straight, accurate cuts. The next step up from this tool is a bandsaw or scroll saw. A bandsaw is a stationary power saw known for its ability to make straight and curved cuts, including resawing, in a wide variety of thicknesses. Scroll saws excel at intricate and detailed cuts, maneuverability for curves and shapes, plus the ability to cut and remove material from the interior of a workpiece. Next up is a cordless drill. Don't need that. This little cute guy comes with the battery, the charger. This little kit of different size bits has a bunch of socket sizes no one's going to use, and I'm really disappointed we only got one PH2. $27.98 pre-tax. This drill is only a 3/8 inch chuck, which is going to handle 95% of the stuff you're throwing at it. They do also make a 1/2 inch chuck. It just fits a wider variety of bits and drilly things. Battery holds a charge for a very long while. 2 variable speed, 18 position adjustable collar. Who even knows what this thing does? I've shown off a cheap Harbor Freight drill in the past, and these things can hold their own for the price point. Now, if you're choosing between a drill or a driver, just know that drills are versatile tools for drilling holes and driving screws, offering adjustable speed and clutch settings for precision work. Impact drivers, on the other hand, are specialized for driving screws and bolts, especially larger ones, with high torque and a hammering action that provides extra power for tough materials. The next step after a cordless drill would be a drill press. You get precise 90-degree holes, better speed control, accuracy for depth settings, and they are all relatively inexpensive. If the perfect 90-degree holes tickled your fancy, you can purchase one of these drill guides. Drill goes into the top of it, gives you the ability to drill perfect 90-degree, 75-degree, 60, 45. It angles, but it takes a tool, so I'm not going to show you. It's got a spot for dowel rods in the bottom if you wanted to keep those where they're at. Handle. It's a lot smaller of a contraption than a full drill press if you're a little squeezed on space. And I really like it. Jumping back to the drill, if you guys have a little bit deeper pockets, you can upgrade to a battery system that you can grow over time. Buying a 20-volt combo set is an option, but I've never needed a reciprocating saw, oscillating tool, or the flashlight for a woodworking build, especially if you are just starting out. Find a few cheap tools, find a cheap circular saw if that is something you wanted to add to this, and start growing from there. To go with the drill, I also purchased a $9.99 8-piece hole saw kit. It can drill up to a 2 1/8 inch diameter hole. And then also a $10.89 5-piece, this is making me want some chicken, Forstner Bit set for smaller, more precise holes and drilling. I chose both of these because it leaves you with a clean entry point, and if you do it right, a clean exit point. Paddle bits could work, but they really chew up the wood, and for the love of everything holy, do not buy a paddle bit with the little screw thing on the top. Those really chew up the wood even faster. And to upgrade both of these, you just get a larger kit. It's going to have more sizes, a little bit more precision, better cutters on them. All of these fit into that 3/8 inch chuck for our drill, something to watch out for. These guys eject the core for you. It's a nice feature. There's one size this does not have that I still reach for my $30 kit for, and I don't remember what size it is, but you'll see it frequently in videos. I'll use the Cobalt or Craftsman set instead of my nice Spider set because it can get the job done. But anyway, this would be an upgrade to either of those. Next up is a project we wouldn't get very far without, a 30-pack of pencils. And I really could have got them cheaper at Walmart for $4.82 for a Are you serious? There's even an upgrade to the pencil. And I'm not talking about a mechanical version or some drafting pencil that has different size leads. Ooh la la. This here is just a scribing tool. It's got a nice, really sharp pointy end. Once you trace your line, instead of having this beefy 1/16 of an inch wide lead drawing, you get a nice, beautifully thin scribed line that you can follow, cut, do whatever you're doing on this. I only own it because it's in my dovetail stuff, so. It's a hammer. Come on out, little buddy. Come on out, come out. That was weird. This, I don't know, $8.99 on Amazon. Very dinky, probably because it has the ball on the end. That's why it was so expensive. This guy here, $2.99 at Lowe's. It's actually for kids. It's a 4-ounce. But this thing unscrews in the end and it lets them hold the nail so they don't got to do it with their fingers. So, much cheaper. This one, my father made. End unscrews. This unscrews. It's heavy. It's metal. This guy, we drove 3 hours to go pick it up at Home Depot. Don't believe me? Sure did. Basically built the entire house. It's a cool hammer I found. And you could also get a mallet. This is a sand mallet. So, I don't know. I almost skipped getting a hammer, but if it's going to take place of a nail gun, then you need a hammer. You know, you got to hammer in some nails, and it works like a dream. So, I don't know. Find one in the store. This was outrageous. Oh my God. Tape measure, because you're going to need one. $5.89. This one was on clearance. It's a Lufkin. They're nice tape measures. I don't like this. I don't like when they auto draw in. This is my go-to chameleon. Pull it out. It locks. Has the high vis. Has random stuff written on the back of it. That's my favorite tape measure. Cobalt also makes them. And this is my dirty set. I don't like Cobalt that much. This is what I'm going to use in the Garage Edition build just because they're outside, they're getting wet. I'm probably going to leave them out there. They don't make these anymore, so these are not going to leave the shop. And I'll just use these. Not a fan. Cheaper option, I've used a stick before as a measuring tool. It worked very well. But you can pick any tape measure up, probably $2 or $3. Walmart, CVS, I don't know. A baby 4-ounce wood glue for $4.98. Titebond 3 is what I use for literally everything. It's for indoor use, outdoor use, and it's waterproof. It's amazing. I also found this dark wood glue for like black walnut and such. You know I love me some black walnut. Pretty excited to give it a try. An $8.99 combination square used for straight lines, measuring, keeping distance from one spot to another. 45-degree angles. It's got a little level on it. You can use this part to level saws and different things. This entire thing is plastic. Not great. This Very flimsy garbage. I don't know. $8.99. I wouldn't buy that one. I have a Swanson level. It is substantially heavier, beefier, made out of metal, not plastic. It's got this little hidden mouse sword in the end of it. If you guys didn't know, it has one of these. You can use that as a scribing tool we just talked about, 2 for 1. Don't have to buy anything else as long as you don't lose that. It's a lot heavier, it's a lot better. This one I picked up at Harbor Freight. He does a few more things. I have the ability to find angles using this guy. It used to have one of these on it, but I think I threw it away because I have like 100 of them. And then this end, you can put a round object and find the center of it. You can find 90 degrees for it. This is a pretty cool one, and it was like 12 bucks as opposed to $8.99. Junk. This is my go-to. You'll see it almost in every video. It's actually made by Klein, which is an electrical kind of company. That's fun. Same thing. I can use it for the end. Has a bunch of random stuff. I don't know what it means on the back, but it does have the ruler on the front, the level, the hidden little mouse sword. And the cool thing, it comes out magnetically, so I can use this as a ruler to measure, use this, to figure out angles and stuff. And it clicks right back into place. I don't have to try to get it in line with the groove. This is my go-to. I wouldn't buy this one. There's a link for it. You can find them in a store a lot cheaper. Harbor Freight has this one for $7.99, but it's metal. This was $8.99. This one I also do not recommend, and it's made by Convexon. Reliable every time. Well, it's reliable until I take your dinky little miter box and I try to put a 2x4 inside of it to cut it down. You can't. And if I put it upright, I can't use the guides. So I can cut a 2x2 piece of wood or a 1x3 maybe in here. It's not even going to fit a 1x4 because it's too narrow. And it wasn't great. I don't know. I was intrigued because it came with a flush cut saw, but even tightening this down as much as possible, this blade still wiggles out. So I really can't recommend any part of what I'd purchased. Yeah, the blades come out. They have a couple different blades. That's kind of cool. I haven't cut a board with it yet. I feel like this is gonna fall out, but I don't know. That's a lot of pull. Flush cut saws are nice because if you had a dowel rod you drove in, you could go in here and cut it off and it would be flush with your workpiece. If you had a board and another board was sticking out a little bit, you could cut it off to be flush. It's in the name. $23.99. This that I used in that tools, that project pays for all the tools video, this was $2.99 and this was $1. So under $5. This is wide enough to fit a 2x4 into. Perfect. Has all the same angles. Perfect. Has a ruler on the top. Perfect. It even has this little bump so you can put it up against your workbench and make your cut, and this thing doesn't go sliding everywhere because this guy does not have that. It's goosey. So I hate this, and we're going to use this one in the video. I bought it at Menards. I know Menards aren't a thing everywhere, but you can pick up a liked item for the same price, 20 bucks. You get the miter box, you get a saw. You might be able to pick up a little bit nicer saw, a little bit nicer miter box. You buy them separately. That's my recommendation. Some of these things we got online, not great. Not great at all. A used miter saw can be found relatively cheap on selling sites, and you would benefit from the speed and accuracy of that tool. The only thing a miter box and a miter saw cannot do quickly and accuracy is rip cuts. That's where you would upgrade to the bandsaw or a table saw. Sandpaper is on the list. You don't want your projects having splinters and looking all sad. This right here, 120 grit adhesive back, just so you can stick it onto a board, sand things a little bit quicker, a little more accuracy again. I'd stick to 120 grit. 80 grit's going to be a little rough if you're trying to stain. Anything above 120 grit, you're getting real fancy. So 120 grit will get everything sanded. Just don't push as hard near the end. It's perfect. It's a perfect grit. And the upgrades to sanding by hand are endless. You can pick up a belt sander, a mouse sander. I think this is called a square sander, not sure. Orbital sander. You can grab a belt sander. You can get an oscillating sander. There are all kinds of different sander options to just honestly save you a little bit of time, and most of them come with some sort of dust collection system so that you're not flinging that all up into the air. And you wouldn't truly be a woodworker unless you began complaining about how you don't have enough clamps in your shop. I own a couple of these. I wouldn't buy them again. I've never used them on a project. I used them when we built our fence. This is my go-to 6-inch, 12-inch bar clamps. They have a good amount of squeeze. They have little rubber deals. It's good. They're cheap. Harbor Freight sells them. Not sponsored in any way. Harbor Freight has cheap, pretty good tools. So this is what I would buy. And don't buy them all at once. I used to spend $20 each time I went to Harbor Freight on just clamps. So I would buy like 4 of these. I think I was able to pick up 3 of these. It was like 2 of these. Every time that I went there, doesn't hurt the pocketbook as much. These guys are like 35 bucks each, and I buy 1 when I go there. And slowly the collection is building. So that's really what you need to do. Just kind of start buying them, and over time you'll collect quite a few. And this wouldn't be a well-rounded woodworking video without talking about safety. Yep, pick up a cheap pair of safety glasses, pick up some disposable masks, help out your lungs, help out your eyeballs. And I know the risks are minimum if you're just starting out and you're using only small hand tools, but there is still a risk, and it's a great habit to get into. Just throwing on a pair of safety glasses, having a mask if you know you're going to be making a ton of sawdust, it's going to help you in the long run. And honestly, I've been hinting at the truth bomb that I'm about to drop, and that is to just shop around. There's not one magical place that has the highest quality and the cheapest tools. That would be too good to be true. So check out this list that I had provided. It's going to have all of the tools here in front of you, what you could upgrade to, and some other options that might just be a little bit cheaper, or where I have found them to be cheaper if that is available in your area. If it is not, just grab that list, jump on Amazon, kind of search a little bit, go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Menards, whatever home improvement store you have. Heck, even Walmart has began to expand on their tool selection, and they offer most of what is sitting here in front of me. Check all that out. Buy some tools, and let's build a project together. Like right now. Like right